الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين ربنا أتم لنا نورنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار ربنا آتنا ما وعدتنا على رسلك ولا تخزنا يوم القيامة إنك لا تفلح الميعاد ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين آمين
آمين شكرا Imam Jallo. Bishop, you have the floor, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Lord God of all power and might, the God of all mercies, we continue to bring ourselves reservedly under your direction, your protection, your providence, your security, and your defense. We continue to submit this new session of the TRRC into your hands and the remaining sessions of the TRRC. We commit all the witnesses that will come before this commission, and we do ask that by your mercy and your grace, that you shall grant them the boldness to be able to stand and speak the truth. Grant the commission the discerning spirits to discern between truth and falsehood. Grant the population and the diaspora equally the patience to allow the due process to take its proper course. And at the end of it all, that you, being the just judge, will reward each and every one adequately. In Jesus' name we pray, praise and thanksgiving. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much indeed, Bishop Odeko. Council, I believe although we are continuing into our new session, that we do have some residuals from the institutional hearings. If you can just clarify that point, what the next 2 or 3 meetings would be, and when we get into the new theme as well. The floor, Council.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, commissioners and members of the audience. Yes, Mr. Chair, as you said, we're still proceeding with the institutional hearing on the NIA. We have finished with the NIA proper. We're now going to deal with an outfit called the Bulldozers, which was also an investigative arm of the state. We would soon learn how it was composed of and how it was established and who are the members and what their mandate was. But they also had arrest and investigative powers, which often culminated into prosecutions. So serious rights violations occurred at the Bulldozers. I want to believe that the Bulldozers became the successor to the Holgam investigations team. I'm not so sure about that yet. Perhaps the witness testimonies would provide better information on that. But hopefully we should finish this tomorrow. It's just one other tangent of the NIA, just like Holgam was. So we would look into it so that we would have a more holistic investigation of the NIA. And hopefully we should finish this exercise by tomorrow. And then we would move on to a new theme. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If you're ready with this morning's witness, you may proceed, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. May I ask that the 2 witnesses be brought in? Mr. Chair, this hearing, we would have 2 witnesses instead of 1, because the 2 witnesses, went through the same thing at the same time. They were arrested and processed together. So to abridge the hearings, it makes sense to hear them both together. Thank you.
Yeah, very good. You're having them ride on a bulldozer and they get into a hole here?
Well, we've had a lot of names, Mr. Chair.
Indeed.
We've heard of black, we've heard of scorpions, we've heard of black scorpions, junglers. Who knows? You know, the list may not be exhausted yet. So this is yet another one, the bulldozers. So
Thank you.
we would have interpretation in the Mandinka language? Yes, thank you. Let the other witness also come. Thank you. Mr. Kambi, could you distance them a bit? Yes. Yes. Thank you. And swear them one after the other, please.
I, Ebrima Keita,
I, Ebrima Keita,
do swear that
do swear that
I will speak the truth,
I will speak the truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. Thank you.
You want to do that in Mandinka? Okay.
Musa Fofana.
I, Musa Fofana,
Musa Fofana.
Musa Fofana.
do swear that
Benkalilako.
Benkalilako.
I will speak the truth,
Mbetonyale fola.
Betonyala fola.
the whole truth,
Tonya damma.
Tonya damma.
and nothing but the truth.
Nte fen fola min manke tonyati.
Defon bala me manke tonyati.
So help me God.
Toto alama ala ndema.
Alma ale ndema.
Good morning, witnesses. Welcome to the TRRC.
Seydou Al-Sama, bal bismillah TRRC nyati ngola.
May I ask that you distance each other a little bit because, yes. Ebrima, could you also push further to the edge?
Ko fanasi on yorande yo bulubala.
Thank you very much. All right. Witnesses, both of you are going to testify, and we would allow for interpretation in the Mandinka language.
Allah sedandiro nyi kono jang besilo dila la pour Allah sedandiro di Mandinka kangol la jang.
And you would listen to me in English and then allow for interpretation in the Mandinka language before you respond.
Albela moy ate ala tella ate council nyi ni mo bota ala janning albe jabiro kala sila moy kanna soro la folo janning albe jabiro kala.
You are testifying together, so I would direct my questions to either of you individually or to both of you collectively.
Albe sedandiro di kan ngokanne bari nyinin karo nyimbe nyinin karo kala. Nde momo niŋata wato sila meme ñininkala mba coodi la ñininkaro ñiŋ kate tele ya bari niŋ ŋata ñinankaro dol fanaŋ naata kafu ñoo kaŋo ala si ya sa tombono ale jaabiro ke.
So I would direct my questions to A or B.
Woto ñininkaro ñiŋ mba coodi la niŋ kiliŋ waran ɗum fula.
Like for instance, I would say, Musa, this is a question for you, or I would say, Ebrima, this is a question for you.
Misal fe nsafo Musa ñininkaro mu puri teleti fulanjaŋo Ebrima ñininkaro mu puri teleti.
I think Ebrima wanted to say something. Go ahead. Ebrima, both of you can speak in Mandinka if you so wish. The important thing is for you to speak in a language in which you are very comfortable. Now that you have taken the oath, I just want to remind you that it's an offense under the laws of this country to lie on the oath.
Gambia banko kanjang tumalamen ibina ila sedan rodila ina na kuma soto balofo o mukuler mi alon ko luati nyala.
And it is also an offense to provide false information to the TRRC.
And hanin kabi fana ko kilo nyaki no nyawa fana luati nyala mpuru ka kuma soto balofo TRRC nyati ngora jam.
Do you understand?
Ali o faham le ba?
Yes.
Musa, do you understand?
Musa ya faham le ba?
Yes. Musa, you'd have to wait for the interpretation before you respond.
Musa janni be jabiro kala be la moy nan kanna soro la folo janni be jabiro la yamay.
Do you understand what I have just said?
Ya faham le ba ay même fa sayin dem ba?
Yes, I understand.
Ibrahima do?
Yes, I understand.
Thank you very much. Okay, let us start with Ebrima. Could you provide us with your personal information, your personal details?
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
Ebrima Keita. My name is Ebrima Keita.
Banjul 18A New Street.
I was born in Banjul, 18A New Street.
New Street.
New Street, 18A.
18A New Street.
Bought up Banjul very early in my life. In Samba, Barimaya, Makati, Omar Sidibe.
I left Banjul at an early age. They took me to my uncle called Omar Sidibe, who lives in Makati.
Tata went to Karambuton, Tata Methodist Primary School.
That's where I went to school. I attended the Methodist Primary School.
Bota Methodist Primary School, Tata Armitage High School.
I left the Methodist Primary School, then I went to Armitage High School.
Adum jam kono ngan mo dol karan million karandi dol bije ngawol suute jang dol bije niwol be Karambuto nyola.
There are people
who Baba Galle Jallo.
There are people here who taught me at school, and there are other people here who were in the same class with me. The people like Baba Galle Jallo is one of the guys who taught me.
Mam Deri Toure, me and teach physics lab.
I saw Mam Deri Toure this morning, who taught me physics at Armitage High School.
Mbota oto Grimbe, Tata Armitage, Mbota Armitage.
So when I left Armitage,
Tata Gambia College, School of Nursing and Midwifery.
I went to Gambia College and I attended the Gambia College School of Midwifery, Nursing and Midwifery.
Ngado kenyim banko kang na tarobe Gambia jang ngado ko kijang.
I worked for the government throughout my stay in the country.
Ministry of Health.
The Ministry of Health.
Tata Loptan Bato, Mimboko, Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, then RVTH.
I was working at the RVTH, later called Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital.
Tata around the country, Ngadoko Serakunda Health Center.
I went to work at many places, various places in the country. I worked at the Serakunda Health Center.
Then I was practicing as a junior staff nurse.
I was practicing as a junior staff nurse then I left Serakunda Hospital.
Then post Brufut Health Center.
Then I was posted at Brufut Health Center.
Then it was Brufut Dispensary.
Then it was the Brufut Dispensary.
The family Benunje as the head of the nurses there.
I was the head of the nurses at the Brufut Health Center at that time.
I've nearly spent 9 months, then Muruta Koteng at the same place, Gambia College, School of Nursing and Midwifery.
I spent almost 9 months at Brufut, then I went back to Gambia College, School of Nursing and Midwifery.
Tata Koteng and midwifery course for 1 year, briefly.
I did my midwifery course for 1 year, briefly.
Brimbota auto Muruta back to Muruta Ntata workforce to Koteke Muruta at the Ministry of Health.
When I left the college, I went back to the workforce and I worked at the Ministry of Health.
For some time in Atang, Radoko Kekote Muruta Serakunda Health Center again. I worked there briefly for a few months. Then I left the ministry and I went back to the Serakunda Health Center again. I worked there briefly. Nata yen deploy yen Samba Yerobawol Health Center as the officer in charge. Then I was later deployed and taken to the Yerobawol Health Center as the officer in charge. Adoko KJ Fanang for some time, for at least 1 year, 2 years. I worked there for almost 2 years. Mbeoto nata koten yen deploy koten to Basse Major Health Center. Then I was later taken to the Basse Major Health Center, where I spent one year. I spent 1 year there. Because my family background, I lost my father since 1975. As somebody who lost his father since 1975. And I was living with my mother, who is a widow, who was a long-time widow. I lived with my mother, who was a long-time widow. And after that, then it was, I think, Aissatou Njie Sedi, who was the Minister of Health. It was Aissatou Njie Sedi at that time, who was also the Minister of Health. Mbamaya approach akai ko lafta ngandimo sambanang ay tarambala. Then my mother approached her and told her that I want to bring my son so that he can be closer to me. It was from there that in Ntata Basse Major Health Center, Jalinka 1 year soto yeng post yeng murundinam again RVTH. I was then at the Basse Major Health Center, but after that I was brought back to Banjul again to the Royal Victoria Teaching Hospital. And at Royal Victoria Teaching Hospital, rise through the ranks from state nurse, from staff nurse to nursing officer. Then I rose through the ranks from staff nurse to nursing officer at the Royal Victoria Teaching Hospital. At the Royal Victoria Teaching Hospital. Mbeje for some time. I was there for some time. Then Natana vacancy at SOS Children's Village Bakote. Then I saw a vacancy at the SOS Children's Village at Bakote. But before then, sorry, I was Banjul Pharmacy follow. But before that, I was employed by the Banjul Pharmacy. Then I was running boat. Nata ajeko saying batunga government bula nata ta Banjul Pharmacy. Then I decided to leave the government job and I stayed with the Banjul Pharmacy. For some time. I worked there for some time. Then Natana vacancy at SOS Children's Village, Bakote. Then that was the time when I saw this vacancy at the SOS Children's Village, Bakote. I applied for the job. And I was lucky. And I was employed at the SOS Children's Village Bakote. At the SOS Children's Village at Bakote. And during that period, mbejang natana dulaje atodum from Sukuta nga pharmacy loje. Then that was the time when I saw a place at Sukuta. Then I decided to erect a pharmacy there. SOS pharmacy moto. That was the time when, after working at the SOS Children's Village, when I close from work, I go to my pharmacy at Sukuta. Exactly. So that's how things were going. Okay. Bring that pharmacy load into Banta Manokanje. The place where I put up this pharmacy just by the roadside. Single room do back on what more landlord I want to combine the two. Kind of a consultation room to Pruna pharmacy. There was another single room attached to the pharmacy. Then I talked to my landlord and asked him if he can allow me to combine these two so that the inner room can be used as a consultation room. Another name itandil na kwenye ko sorry, unfortunately molebe sabatering wodulato. Then he told me that sorry, unfortunately somebody is using that place. Bring tataje nkaje kambano do kadung akafinti wobungo kono. I was there. Then later on I saw that there was somebody who goes in and out of that room. Mr. Keita. You
This is where you worked when the incident happened in 2016, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Do you still operate the pharmacy?
Yes, I'm still there. I refuse to leave the place.
Thank you very much for your tenacity. Let's now move on to Mr. Musa.
Mr. Musa Fofana.
Tell us about yourself, your name, full name, and biographical information.
Silang ifam from Moli bang ito ni kontongo ani lakibar kotango uludla ulul sanyi jumala.
Assalamu alaikum jamu bembalbe kontona.
Greetings to everyone present here.
Chairman Nalamola, lead council Nalamolbe.
Chairman and his people, lead council and his people, and everybody. Plus the audience, those who are in here and those watching. My name is Musa Fofana. Some call me Bolong, that's a nickname. I was born in Jara Sankuya.
25th May 1967.
In 1967. I was there. I was then enrolled at the Pakalinding Primary School. I went to school late because I went to school at the age of 10 years.
I started primary 1.
I started at primary 1.
Primary 2.
Primary 2. When the exams were approaching, I suffered from chest problems.
So when exam okay,
then I was unable to sit to the exam.
Repeat.
Then I repeated the class again.
So on for primary 6, around primary 6, Pakali secondary.
Then I went through the classes up to primary 6. Then I later went to Pakalinding Secondary School.
In 1984, Form 1 started.
In 1984, that's when I started at Form 1.
What's the common entrance?
Because the common entrance,
if
I can remember, I was short by 5 marks to pass the common entrance.
Muslim high school.
To go to Muslim high school.
So,
by that time, my elder brothers, then at that time they have dispersed. One was at the army.
PWD.
The elder one was working at the Public Works Department.
So the
other one was staying at my father's younger brother at Makati. That was the person I followed, but he was older than me by 5 years.
Because
my father didn't want me to be far away from him.
Secondary Technical School.
He told me go to Mansakonko so that you can attend the Pakalinding Technical Secondary School.
Mr. Mustafa Cham, headmaster.
Mr. Mustafa Cham was the headmaster by then.
So another
then he said,
the
students at that time at the school, at my level, my marks were higher than all those at that time.
So I left Form 2.
Then he wanted to take me to Form 2. I said to him, then allow me to talk to my father. I told my father, I said to him, yeah.
Form 2.
I said to him, if I go to Form 2, it's not good for me. I said to him, let me start at Form 1.
So Form 1.
I was at Form 1.
My performance was very good.
My performance was very good.
Ghanaian Mr. Yao.
There was a Ghanaian called Mr. Yao.
Best student.
He said I was his best student.
Throughout the three Form 1s.
Throughout the 3 Form 1 classes.
We have S, K, and J.
You have S, K, and J. I was attending the S class.
So I couldn't be Kalala class prefect.
He made me the class prefect.
So intara Jambola.
That's where I was.
After the school of 3 Form 1.
The school had those 3 Form 1 classes.
Exam okay.
After the examination,
Maths and Science, ndeka first abego.
in Maths and Science, I always take force.
Even the class, ni exam okay, student will beka lafikante la paper follow.
Even after the exams, all the students in the class would like to see my papers.
So now that I out of 2 Form 3.
Then I went up to Form 3.
From 1 to Form 3, first or second quarter.
From 1 to Form 3, I am always either first or second. Then one day the master called me. He told me there is a chance at the Public Works Department.
Form 3.
I was at Form 3 by then. He said to me, this is what I want.
Sometimes they are like,
if you like,
see Tarado Kwala for a national road traffic count.
You can start working national road traffic count.
So they have a 1 month or 2 months more do Kwala.
I think I spent 1 or 2 months doing that job.
Land Rover can come a commercial can Sankuya.
Land Rover picks me from Mansakongo to Sankuya.
On the area Molka.
And so in the area, people started saying,
Musa Maji do Karamala follow, I do Kosodo.
Musa is going to school and at the same time he has a job.
So
that's what I was doing.
Not Form 4.
Then I went to Form 4. Before the exams, all the subjects that I was doing,
classical woodwork and metalwork.
All the class teachers wanted me to do
the rest of the subjects.
Apart from woodwork and metalwork, the rest of the subjects.
All
the teachers want me to choose their subjects. So I also looked at the subjects, all of them.
Instead of
doing the 9 subjects,
only 7.
I said, let me take 7 subjects.
Out of that 7 subjects,
out of the 7 subjects,
now 2 credits, 5 passes.
I think I got 2 credits and 5 passes.
So back.
I was not happy with that.
Because as the saying
goes,
an examination is not a fair test of one's knowledge.
Examination is not a fair test of one's knowledge.
So at Ambarima do North Bank, SEO, health center,
my uncle was working at the SEO health center. By then they were building up there.
But the contractor was Badusamba.
The contractor was Badusamba.
So Nara from Bama, I put comment.
Then I told my mother. So I told my mom to help me and talk to my uncle so that I can go to Berending Secondary School and repeat the class. Then my uncle said, that's not a problem.
Because school for Pakalending Secondary.
Because when I left Pakalending Secondary School, I went to stay with my uncle. That time he was staying in Talinding.
From Berending Secondary School,
before going to Berending Secondary School, it was almost late. So then I went to the school and I decided to repeat the class.
Anyway, it was very late.
It was late.
We had the same subject, the same grades, the same passes also.
But I got the same passes again as before.
Now, this time around, was it a fair test of your knowledge?
Still it's not fair to me.
So,
then I was there. Then I had a friend, an age mate called Lamin Bori Fofana. He was staying at Bundung. He was working in the hotel industry.
Dolphin, Dolphin Bar.
There was a restaurant around Kerr Avenue called Dolphin Bar.
So another weekend,
he came to spend the weekend with me when I was with my uncle at SL.
He told me, boy, before sitting down here, why don't you come to me so that I can train you?
As a barkeeper,
As a barkeeper.
or any good barkeeper, can waiter, any good waiter can barkeeper.
Or you can be a waiter, because any good waiter can be a barkeeper, or any barkeeper can be a waiter. He told me he will train me in the compound first. How to carry plates in your hands. How to serve drinks. So that if families come to the venue with children, how you are going to serve them. He taught me all those things.
So back and back, I
was doing that until one day he told me, but you are very fast, you are a fast learner. He told me then I will explain your affair or your case to my boss.
An Englishman called Roger Mello.
He was an Englishman called Roger Mello.
He was an ex-soldier.
He also was an ex-soldier.
So boy.
Lamin said to me, boy,
on the 1st September.
He told me, we will go there on the 1st of September.
1991.
In 1991.
1st September my birthday.
He told me that day, the 1st of September, is his birthday. He told me you are somebody who likes to laugh, you are always smiling. The man also likes those type of people.
So then
Lamin told him that I will bring someone here. Lamin told him he is my friend, he is my relative, someone called Musa Fofana.
Okay.
The man said to him, okay.
Anyway, anytime, na filter national.
The man asked my friend, well, then my friend told the man that, well, anytime I can come meet him here at any time, whenever he feels to come, I will come meet him.
Imagine 1991.
Imagine in 1991, in those days, the tourist season used to be very busy.
Off-season over busy.
Even during the off-season, things usually are hectic.
What time of
around in those days,
British High Commissioner
the British High Commissioner himself comes to that place. He takes some of us, if they have functions at the embassy, they take us there to work for them.
Did you get a job? Did you smile
I'm
into the job?
Yes. Okay, but
on 1st of September?
So 1st September,
then on the 1st of September, he came.
It was around 4 p.m.
If I can remember, it was around 4 p.m. Lamin was in front of me. He's somebody who understands the white man. And he knew me very well too. He told me, boy, this man coming, that's the man.
So
he was coming. When I saw him, I decided to smile.
I love that.
The man said to me, I love that. He said, Lamin,
I really like your man.
He said to Lamin, I really like your man. Lamin told him, this is the man I brought, and if you agree, he will even start working today.
Why not? Because it's not birthday, busy.
The man said to him, why not? Because today is my birthday. The man, how I saw him,
I can smile there.
He's somebody who easily smiles, and I know that if he's somebody, if he stays in this job for long, he will become a very good worker.
So,
then with the grace of Allah, he employed me.
Now, first salary,
my first salary,
it was $433. $433.
It was $433. And in how many buruts?
33 buruts.
33 buruts.
So in the second month,
my second month,
and the performance the staff will be kind and the
after he saw my performance, he decided to bring me to the same level with all the workers there, the staff who were working for
that time, it was $950.
Then that was the time, if I can remember, my salary rose to $950
a month.
A month.
Mr. Musa, you're a very lucky fellow. I remember those of us with A levels, we worked at Cooperative Union on a salary of $233. But anyway, let us move on. So you joined the hotel industry, and did you rise through the ranks?
Yes, I got some promotions. Then I was there, and the man saw that. Lamin, who happens to be the barkeeper, but if he becomes busy, and if there are other people who were many at the counter, waiters, if there are many at the counter,
so I go behind the bar.
Then I will go behind the bar.
Service, okay.
I will do the service. Sometimes if I even want to leave, some will not allow me to go out. That's how I was working there.
Because Lamin and
Lamin being the barkeeper, he also doubles at the cashier. He trained me to do that job also. Before starting, the money that flows in, I always check the money and put it aside. After doing the sales,
account
when he comes to check the money, I mean dealer, he comes
float money,
the float money and the changes that are left with me, he will check and put them aside. When he is checking up, he will remove the fraud money first, and he will bring the bill.
Cash and check out compare.
He will check the cars and compare the bills and the cars received.
Let's starting.
At the starting,
I
told him some people used to give us tips. So because of the nature of the job, we were always in a hurry. We don't remove the tips from the amount paid. We leave the tips there.
So maybe
So at that time, he one day told me, this is not safe. Because if you leave the tip inside the money, they will think that you are doing something else different in the job.
Mr. Fofana, the work of a cashier or a barkeeper in the hotel industry is quite interesting and complicated. So we spare us the details of such a very interesting job, and then we would move on to what happened to you in 2016. But before that, what work do you do presently?
Si jani bo be tonya la lafta kamen be sa ta hotel doku ka ko di maraladi anen ka baki pati kule me alan ko anyabo warra doku kende balam but han kabi ngata janni be mela wodo ngawado janni wodo ngata kula mela no wala late kan 2016 sang kon an han kabi janni wo fana sainte be jamano men ko do ikamum doku leke.
Still hotel doku la.
I'm still doing hotel work,
but since last year March 23rd.
But since last year, March 23rd,
a hotel is on the Sun Beach Hotel.
Hotel was closed, a hotel called Sun Beach Hotel.
Because
during the season, that's where I work.
Off season, I come to Ocean Bay.
Off season, I go to Ocean Bay.
Ocean Bay, Katra Banquet, one of my co-workers, Lamin Jamme.
At the during the season, I work there with a friend called Lamin Jamme.
Ocean Beach season off season, Galkan Samba Ocean Bay banquet.
I work at my place during the season, but off season I go to Sun Beach Hotel.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ocean Bay, sorry.
So both of you were in Sukuta in May of 2016, correct?
I'll make baby in Sukuta, make her 2016 Sangon. I'll move Musa.
Yes. Ebrima?
Yes. Ibrahim.
So you have to allow one another first, so that the speeches would not overlap. And this incident that you had, Musa, with the bulldozers, what day was it? Was it the 10th of May or was it 11th of May? Bearing in mind 11th May is Bob Marley Day.
Musa, in kula mellate kan me karo tiltan warando mi tatan nin kilimol mellate kan inin buldo samolu mun kullate kan bari sai in fanal lonko 11 me lulle me yalon ko jamaka jura ko bob mali la lungolam
on the 10th May the report data.
The report was given on the 10th of May.
On the 11th May.
But these people came there on the 11th of May.
2016.
2016.
Okay, Ebrima, kindly tell us what happened on 10th of May.
Sorry, Ebrima, afanya banguna kita me karo tiltan.
Do you agree that this incident, the conversations that you had, took place on 10th of May? And Gayol Nata, as he put it, on the 11th of May.
Karo tiltang andu nyumol koy ka fanya men gayal nyumol inata kan ini yese nyolo soto karo tiltang anin kilimol laba.
So tell us what happened on the 10th of May.
Silang afanya muna kita karo tiltang la. Ibrahim.
Okay, karo tiltang min kita no.
What happened on the 10th of May? I was at the pharmacy. I was there with Musa because Musa happens to be a very good friend of mine. Because he's somebody, since I came to stay at that pharmacy, is somebody, if I go out and enter the compound, if I reach his house, I greet him. Then I realized that he's somebody who rarely goes out. If you don't find him in his house, you will find him under his veranda reading. That's the time when I started, I questioned him, what is your name? He said, my name is Musa Fofana.
So you guys developed a relationship.
This is how we became acquainted. Then I told him, before you will always be sitting by yourself here alone, why can't you join me so that we will be sitting together so that we can also chat? Because I realized that he's a gentleman.
And what age
When I asked him his age, I asked him, how old are you?
1967.
He told me that he was born in 1967.
This is strange. I was born in 1967.
I told him this is strange, a coincidence. I was also born in 1967.
Not a relationship developed world now.
This is how we developed the relationship. Because he is somebody who wouldn't have been involved in this problem which we both encountered. But he encountered this problem because of his relationship with me. Because he comes to sit by me and we always sit together and chat. Then I realized that he is a responsible person. He has his family. He is there, he was there with his family. Then I later realized that he works for the hotel.
His driver, on that fateful 10th day of May, 2016, did you see Musa?
Olungola Ebrima. Karo me karo til tangola 2016 sangola. Olungo inya bweda Musa kaneba.
Yes, we were together.
Was there anybody else with you apart from Musa?
Ninga boda ida ni Musa fang kunningola. Fodo ko ten sorenda we yalan ko abal feje ba.
Yes, initially we were the two people there. Till later on, there was an old man called Pala Sanajallo who was passing by. So he was somebody who usually passes by there And that's how we became acquainted with him, myself and Musa and him. We all became acquainted.
Musa, tell us what time you went to the pharmacy that day?
Musa, silang afanyam bang wulumani. Montoro wati jumala mitara pharmacy montaka CJ kataka chala.
On the 10th, yeah?
Yes.
It was around 5 p.m. towards 5:30.
I think it was 5 p.m. towards Namira Talalulem Kata Talalulin Talakam.
Mostly what time more than Kataji.
Mostly I go there around that time.
So, especially my off days.
Especially my off days.
On this particular occasion, who did you find at the pharmacy?
Ebrima Keita.
I found Ebrima Keita there. But someone was in the room. The informer, who was Bulldozer's informer,
ex-army, military intelligence.
He is an ex-army. He was an ex-army and also a former military intelligence officer.
What's his name?
Ebrima John.
They call him Ebrima John.
Ebrima Keita. Is this the room you were talking about? That it was next or the next room to your pharmacy, the room you wanted to add to your pharmacy as a consultation room?
Oh, nyina bungo tibang ika bungo menna kumufo ko ilafto bungo nyinela no foita ta kordati ne dia mutaye puru isaje ay sa din wala yake bunte me yalon ko be muna fanglala puru la sa mol me yalon ko kana jaralo kanibulu puru ni be nyojela dawdo fo le bungo tibang
atele fam
that's the very room.
And that is the room.
This man he is talking about, the man who was staying in that room, during my stay there, I just saw him coming in and out.
Sometimes you see a military uniform
Sometimes I'll see him wearing a military short trouser
and a military t-shirt
plus a military t-shirt. But I didn't know him at that time. Then one day I asked him, who are you?
And
he told me that his name is Ebrima John. Then I asked him, what is your occupation? He told me I was working with the army.
Akonye bari saing mbe mantara mbuka uniform dum be do ko wala army bari mbuka uniform dum.
He told me now I'm still working with the army but I don't wear uniform.
At this stage, did you know that he was working for the intelligence service?
Fo nyintemben na fo anarne la londo to la bang ka kalamuta ko nyi Ebrima John abe do ko la kullo poli dinkari mom do kula la karola abe do ko la wala.
Yes, during our stay there, I am somebody who likes to observe things properly. I usually see him, he comes with a rider. It was a white motorbike. Sometimes I see him come with some people and they will go into his room.
Some of them
happen to be these paramilitary officers. Some of them will even be in uniform. They will come with him and go into his house.
Did you know he was an intelligence officer for the intelligence service or the secret service?
Ne bangana ne la londo do banko abe mola me alon ko abe do ko lan na tanko bunda melu marlim londi kullo dinkari ko maranyala imbangu kamba.
That
was the time when I decided to investigate about him. I started to find out things about him.
At what moment was staying in Canifing South, the family compound also.
Because at that time I was staying at Canifing South. That's where my family compound was located.
So
sometimes when I am coming, we will meet when he is riding that white motorbike. I will see him passing.
Especially Canifing South or University Bunjang Bedam, Kanifing South, ni kabonang Banjul Breweries, Kanana.
Sometime I'll see him passing by around Kanifing South. If you are coming from Banjul, where that building was around Banjul Breweries, near the university.
The online
university. The online university, usually I see him passing by there.
So lundo bije ntofan abele motorcycle bita kan so fanan bulata mbano maten ka jube abita kata dame.
So one day he was riding, then I was behind him. I also decided to observe so that I will know where he was going to.
Nata ja kadum bulldozer ka foot plaso dole bulldozer baunte go ntem Kanifing South na family compound bije le nga bulldozer ni dulalo le ngalon ko Pembu George la suolem no.
Because that day when I followed him, I saw him going into that compound where they call bulldozer. In Kanifing South, I knew my way around, and I knew that that compound belongs to Penku George.
Musa.
Musa.
At this stage,
on
10 May, did you know what work Ebrima John was doing?
Ebrima John. Akamundo kulekeba.
At that time, I didn't know what job he does.
But at this stage, did you know what bulldozer was?
Yes, at that time, I knew what the bulldozer was doing.
And what did you understand bulldozer to mean and what work they were doing?
I understood that
different security forces put together.
Yajame decided to put together different security forces. He decided to give them a place called Holgam Bulldozer.
So Katara Sate Kono, especially politicians all time.
They will be going around people's residences, but usually they used to observe, usually on politicians. But this man, I work at the hotel, so I knew people. I met criminals. I met so many different types of people. There was one year when I was at the Dolphin. I was serving one man, even on my off days. They will call me and tell me that your man is here, but usually what I tell them is, tell Mr. So-and-so to serve him. Because the man, if you serve him, he will not give you anything. So but his last day, luckily for me, it was not my off day. I served him. When he requested for his bill, I gave it to him. He thanked me for my service.
It was $500.
He gave me a tip. If I can remember properly, it was $500. Then he asked me, do you know me? I said to him, no, I don't know you. I came to know you here. He said, he is a killer. He said he's a killer. An American, he said killing is his job.
Thank you very much for your service.
He told me today is the last night for me here. Thank you very much for your service.
Because
he told me you should further your education because you meet so many different people in this kind of job. He told me continue with the type of good job you are doing. This is why Ebrima John, when as he was living in that compound, mostly I don't see him going to work.
But sometimes
I'll see him wearing a suit.
Less than 3, 4, 5 hours.
He will go away, but less than 2, 3, 4, or sometimes 5 hours, he will come back. And whenever we meet, he used to call me uncle. I look at his face. If I look in his eyes, he will bend his head. I said to myself, I don't trust this man. If you look in somebody's eyes always and he bends his head, then if that kind of person, I don't trust them. I don't know his job, but I don't trust him.
I hope you're not suspecting me too, but but Ebrima, you saw this guy go into Holgam. What came to your mind?
When I saw him enter that place, Holgam, just as Musa said, because as I told you, Holgam used to belong to Pengu George, and during our childhood days, we go to play there around that place.
After
Then later on, a fish factory was built there.
Then
after that, after the place was changed, I later realized that I used to see soldiers standing at the gate of the place. When I saw him going into that compound, then that's how I made the connection in my mind. I said to myself then, maybe this man is working with these people.
At this stage, did you know what kind of work the soldiers were doing in that premises?
Kabula watola funar na sabari sondo mo kono banka lonko ni sojaro le kamunde duku ke ni sansan kono ja
wotumo dak naddumo je wato kabin sojarol bijama mbukadunno bawo sojarol le babundato.
In those days I don't go inside there because it's guarded by soldiers who always keep guard at the gate, so this is why I don't have the chance to go inside.
But
whenever I ask about the place, they will always tell me, well, this place is used by soldiers plus other security branches. People from those security branches join soldiers here.
So Musa, tell us, that evening you went to the pharmacy at between 5 and 5:30, and what happened?
Siang Musa afanya bang wolumo nyina na da pharmacy mo nyinto membida montoro wati lulu kata fo montoro wati tasaboka
wati lulu min talaka
on the 10th level.
Yes.
On the 10th, I reported to Oluwala.
Tell us what happened when you went there. We want to know what happened.
Okay. When I went to the pharmacy,
was always
because whenever we are together there, we used to brew China green tea attire. When we started brewing, those who knew me know me as somebody who really likes to drink attire. If I reach that place, if today I brew China green tea, the following day will be his turn to brew the China green tea.
So
that's what we are doing.
Alassana Jallo.
Somebody called Alassana Jallo.
Because
he happened to be our elder and he likes me.
Always, most of the time,
sometimes when he used to go to the mosque to pray, but sometimes if he feels that he's about to get late reaching the mosque,
I told him, I join in.
If he sees us performing ablution, he will come and join us.
We
will tell him, lead us in prayers. He will lead us in prayers. He told me, you people, I like you people. Young people like you people. Even if I am on board a vehicle passing, and if it happens to be prayer time, I used to see you people praying. Sometimes before I reach Sukuta, the garage mosque, this is why if I realize that I will be late to reach that mosque, I always drop here to pray with you people. Then he told me one day, Fofana, I used to drink China green tea, but me, I only drink first and second. He also told me that he doesn't like too much sugar.
Diabetes sugar.
Then I told him, well, we also use diabetes sugar because myself and my friend, we are all suffering from diabetes. That's how we were there.
That very day,
the old man, he said he was from Kanifing.
I'm a UDP
So, because I don't know whether he saw the UDP people being loaded on board a vehicle. Mike.
Sorry, thank you very much. Ebrima, on this date, something important happened. Do you recall what it was? This was the day of the Solo Sandeng demonstration.
Yeah, you know,
Exactly, it was the very day, and on that day something very important happened. Just as you just said. The same old man called Pa Alasana, because as for us we don't go anywhere. We don't go to anywhere. When we come to the pharmacy and sit down there, the only time we leave that place is when I was about to go home.
Around that time, 5 to 5:30.
So Pa Alasana arrived there at our place around 5 to 5:30. As just as Musa said.
Let's talk about what happened that day.
So after that, when he reached us, he told us, you people, do you know what's happening?
When
he told us that, do you know what's happening? I said to him, no, we don't know what's happening. He said to us, well, I'm leaving, I've just left around Westfield. He said to me, there are people demonstrating around Westfield. And what I hear people saying is that they have killed Solo Sandeng. But as for me, I think that's not true. He is not dead. People just said that.
How did you react to that information?
Yes, I was really puzzled. I don't know what to mean. What does it mean?
Arrest, detain, and arrest Siata Banco come back.
That was the time when I said to Musa, nowadays arrest and detain is too much in our country.
As individuals.
So we went on chatting as individuals.
And Musa, tell us how you reacted to that.
Musa, silang itafana ya fonye biriyo kibaro nyim moi. Ikere nyadile.
When I heard that, I said to him, old man, he said yes. I told him, well, this should be a simple matter. I said to him, something like this once happened in Mali. People demonstrated. Soldiers killed people. They killed people. But at the end, then this is what happened until finally they decided to topple the government of Modibo Keita. So, then I said to him, we also should do the same thing here. I said to him, they are killing people, but they cannot kill everyone. Those who are destined to die will die. If everybody comes out, they cannot kill everyone. On the whole, he was sitting down inside. I said Yaya himself will be afraid and he will step down.
Ebrima, how did you react to this statement you heard from Musa?
Kabri Musa nyinkumofo.
When Musa said that,
Ndofalan kai ko de nkai ko kukilim bije.
then I also said to him, there is one thing.
Nkai nte dal ya jamila mararwa manyafa.
I said to him, Yaya Jammeh's rule, I'm not happy with it.
Another example of nkai ko hanifa in Senegal.
I gave him an example saying that in Senegal,
Kai ko in fact ntenga Macky Sall admirale.
and I said to him, me, I admire Macky Sall.
Kai because wakala kol samba nyame.
Because the way how he does things,
Kai wente nyafa bakale.
well, it really impressed me.
Tata for dan ka for ko ndela president mankaran wala sabu abe mol arrest la be falakta.
Then I went on to say that our president is not educated. This is why he's arresting and killing people.
Be careful what you say. President.
I'm careful.
Yes, I'm careful.
And how about the old man? Did he say anything? Ibrahim, did the old man say anything? Alasan?
Alasan, 5 fen for bank. What he said after I asked him, after he narrated his story, I said to him, do you really know whether Solo Sandeng is dead? I think maybe really it's true that he is dead. He told me, well, that's what people are just talking. They are just talking. They are just making people to become to fear.
So
that's what we were discussing.
On the
whole, this man staying in that single house, so I suspected that he wrote something. So the following day, we were just sitting down there when they arrived in the evening. We were just sitting down, myself and Musa. We saw a double cabin pickup, a white one, loaded with paramilitary officers.
With nets.
Some of them were wearing masks over their faces. Some of them were holding
guns, rifle guns.
Some of them were holding rifles.
So
some of them were holding sticks.
How did you react when you saw them?
Definitely in Silatale.
When we saw them, definitely we became afraid.
Musa.
They were coming towards us.
And Musa, how did you, okay, let's take it back a little bit. The previous night, the previous evening, did you suspect that the conversation you were having would cause any problems? Musa.
No kachadal.
At that stage, suspect or have any reason to believe that that conversation you were having would lead to any problems?
Yes, I'm somebody who is highly suspicious. So from then on, I suspected.
Because Ebrima
John,
most of the time,
when we are brewing China green tea, most of the time in the evenings, he will go into his house and lock himself up. But as you know, all the elderly people, when they are talking about politics, they don't hide anything. If an elderly man is talking, you cannot just stop him. But I tried to signal him, but he didn't understand me.
But you did not heed to that. You advocated the civil disobedience against the government to culminate into a Gambian spring that would lead to Yaya Jammeh's downfall. You advocated for that, knowing fully well that this guy was in the adjoining room.
Kula me alonko alma mabo al kita kula me alonko al be wulta kamala le pareta kamaka ko kidimandi pour Yaya Jammeh ka je nyanonko pour abe jino la si masa siran ka nyame.
Is that what I said?
Amunda kula nyinti me alonko alimang nyimira ko nyinkumo be kusabula katu albena tanganiyo me yitande wala nyinti kusike mensa kende hanfo Yaya Jammeh ala mansa ya siboy wala IG mansa yala andung ali hakilo nyanta jala utumo ko nying fondin ke bala bu ko wole
ngako sa jeno bari amaka ko ngamra 100% ka beje ko ma yedu naje.
Well, that could be true, but I didn't see him. I was not 100% sure that he was in the room.
When you were speaking to Musa, to Ebrima and Pa Alassane that evening, you were speaking freely, weren't you? No?
Bibe diam la Musa ni Pa Alassane wula rande wonyin. Bibe diam ko if on need yala kan for.
If Sawo.
Sawo kan?
Yes.
And
Because otamo,
because at that time,
the
way I saw how politics was going on in the country, things happen, especially if you are a member of the UDP, they will come and do something that will anger you or that will push you into something which will create a problem for you.
Were you afraid to speak at that stage?
I didn't mention.
No, I was not afraid.
Because because
the conversation was started by the old man and I have high respect for him, so I cannot just cut him off.
Ebrima, did you at this stage have any suspicions that this conversation you were having could lead into problems?
Ebrima ite dum fanan fo so be so to nyin ko nyin ko e be nkacha ben so dam ten fo abina ko le ko sabule mala o sab nyaaro do mandimba.
Because wato dal nene ma miran.
At that time I never thought about that.
Katu minke danum fam
because what happened
abim paying diamo kumase
when the old man started this conversation,
I
was not really sure whether this man was in his room or not. Because the paramilitary officers came the following day.
So
the following day in the evening when they came and found me sitting with Musa.
So during your conversation on the evening of the 10th of May, you were just speaking freely, not thinking that any problem would arise from your conversation.
Munta karotil tangonyin wato men albo kacha nyin kono albo kacha diamu kan alfa osawolan andungal may miran ko osamu kubina so le miano ka bina ko le ko sabula makabo kacha dale men ko ale men fo osamu lan.
Yes, truly, I didn't even think that something like that will happen. I didn't think of any problem. This is why the following day, when these paramilitary people arrived there, when they were just approaching, I said to Musa, these people are paramilitary officers.
11th of May.
Then I said, what is today? Today is 11th of May. Because first of all, I thought that they are out to go after the boys who usually come out on that day to go and smoke outside.
Smoke what?
Cannabis.
Cannabis. That's the time when I said to Musa,
anyway, iba kanande malon nak bare ikamuno mol min katraji modol noma boysol noma.
I said to Musa, well, they are coming, but it looks like that these are the type of officers who used to go after these young boys.
Yarafantol malon.
On the whole, we didn't know. When they came until they almost reached us, they reduced their speed. They came like that slowly until they were exactly opposite us. That was the time when they all jumped down from the vehicle. They came and greeted us. Then they asked, who is Ebrima? Because at that time they didn't know my show name. Because the man inside that room, we were not highly acquainted. So one day even I asked him, what type of job are you doing? Because I was becoming suspicious of his what he used to do. That was the time when they told me, climb on board this vehicle.
Okay. At this stage, how did you feel when you were being asked to jump on the vehicle?
It really puzzled me. Because it surprised me. Because where I was on board that vehicle, I just saw them, I gestured to them with my hands, asking them, what have I done? Especially there was a man among the paramilitary. He lived near me. In fact, he is a neighbor where I was living at Salaji. Directly opposite me. He was sitting directly opposite me. I just gestured my hands to him and asked him what have I done. Then he decided to look away from me. In uniform. Because he was in uniform at that time. He turned his face away from me. He refused to look at me. That's the time when I realized that, well, something bad has happened.
Okay, let's, Musa, when they arrived, how did you feel?
Then I said to Keita, well, these people are the guys.
Boys on May 11th.
I said to him, boys, on May 11th, normally these boys smoke cannabis on the streets. Maybe they are after those boys. But when they came until they nearly reached us, when they all jumped from the vehicle, AK-47, some of them were holding AK-47 rifles and some were holding sticks.
Most of them were masked on.
And most of them wore masks over their faces. Then they came and asked, who is Ebrima? They said to him, board this vehicle. They said, Musa Fofana, also you should board this vehicle. There was a Ghanaian around who used to repair these refrigerators. He's an old man. Mike. They call him Mike. They thought that he was Pa Alassane Jallo. They asked him to join the vehicle. So he asked them, what have I done? They said to him, go just board the vehicle. When we reach our destination, you will know what you've done. So but where I was sitting, that was the time when I realized exactly it was Ebrima John who created this problem. Because the security man sitting next to me, he was talking. Then I recognized his voice. Then I knew that this man next to me is Ebrima John.
He said, I knew that the man on the other end of the line was Ebrima John.
Okay, yes. And then that's the time when he said that they should drop Mike. They should allow him to go off the vehicle. So they said, and he also said, tell Uncle Musa also to alight from the vehicle. Then you can take away Keita. Take him away for the time being.
So I telephone off.
Then that's the time when he rang off the phone.
So Mike,
They said to Mike, you should alight from the vehicle. They also said Uncle Musa alight from the vehicle. Then we alighted from the vehicle. We sat down on a bench there. That time I had already brewed my second attire, very fine one. I was about to share it, but when this thing happened, I was so angry that I decided to throw away the attire.
So Ebrima, they decided to go with you, correct?
It is somebody, right?
Mr. Chair, we hear more about it after the break. Thank you.
No, you can take a break now and go get your attire. We'll see what happens. Thank you. We have a 30-minute break and we'll come back at 12:05. Thank you. Meeting's adjourned.
When we touch down, better broke down.
Gamtel G-Fiber, now you can enjoy super fast internet in gigabytes. G-Fiber is affordable, stable, secured, and accessible to homes, businesses, and enterprises. With Gamtel G-Fiber, the future is speed. Gamtel, creating a brighter future in communication.
That's how she became mine and see that.
For all your pastry, bakery, and quality food, CK Restaurant is the only place to be. We do catering for birthdays, weddings, and all related services. We have all kinds of local foods, American, European, and even beyond. Come and have a taste of our local juice, ebe, and other services. At CK Restaurant, customer satisfaction is our priority.
Love like fire. Wow. Love like fire. Xam ngeen rek affaire bi xam ngeen fan la skincare la 2020 lañ wax de waaw fii nag mooy Kerr fan Kerr zero tache perfect skincare saa su ne rek niñ ko dee defee rek loo lañ soxlaati rek maanaam bu ngeen am problème ci seen skin yéen xam ngeen fan la fii ngeen di ñëw suma xarit yeeg am di jàmm yi nga xam ne taas daf lañ sonaloon xam nga doon xeesal ba la ka xum éneew ma lañ ko nag waaye just in case comme ni ko gars yi defee rek en cas just in case loolu xew xam ngeen fi ngeen di ñëw fii ngeen di ñëw skincare plus si yu baax rek la ñoo dox nag ay baax rek fu ne la ñoo dem ci réew mi di lañ indi rek nag products yu baax du Paris du Italie du USA du fi mu nekk nii sax boole nañ ci nag Sweden fu nekk lañ leen a indilee products bu dee tamit nag da nga ñuul rek ñu lay jamaa natural beauty that melanin dripping we do have stuff for you as well emuñ si skincare products rek ñu ngi ci cuub yi tamit fu ne la ñoo jaar in fact sax last commercial bi ñu defoon waxuñ leen woon dañoo dox ci ay kawar 9A grade rek nag waaw we do have bundles as well hair si lu ne la ñoo dox ñun ñu ngi ci rafetal jigéen rek luy taaral jigéen rek waaw boo leen di tukki tamit bëggoon rek classic plastic suitcase dañoo dox ci ay Samsonite duñ dee indi any brand of suitcases though other than Samsonite comme li ma dee wax rek boo eggee airport diri Samsonite dafa am nuñ laa xoolee waaw ngeen ne lan nag waaw skin ci moom la ñu gën a xamee nag skin care products ci moom la ñu gën a xamee ñu ngi dox tamit bente tamit si ay dàlla man waaye man nag skin care mooy suma specialty xam nga rek jigéen bu sa xar kanam réglé loo def mu jag am nañ Patricia Reiner Kiwi Eye the whole range Lighten Up Gold Tomatine I mean the list can just go on and on and on and on lépp loo xam ne rek luy taaral jigéen la ci yooyu rek la ñoo dox skin care plus nag emuñ si Gambia rek ñu nga United States ñu ngi Gambia fii ba pare bu dee yaa ngi anywhere in Europe mun nañ la ko mail within 3 days rek ñetti fan rek nga jot say diw emuñ si loolu rek dañ laa consult tamit balaa ñu laa jaay diw dinañ def a free consultation pour wax la rek exactly li nga xam ne moo méngoo ak sa kanam dinañ leen wax tamit ne rek am nañ perfumes you know fragrances men's shirts accessories we do dresses as well we do blouses I mean we do shoes name it we do them Skincare Plus 2020 is our year of perfection zero task fi mu nekk nii réew mi fii kenn waratu fi task kenn waratu fi am problème kanam kenn waratu fi am problème yu picca boo ko amee dafa fekk ne rek ñëwuloo ci place bi fii
love like fire bring my love like fire when we touch down, better broke down.
Gamtel G-Fiber, now you can enjoy super fast internet in gigabytes. G-Fiber is affordable, stable, secured, and accessible to homes, businesses, and enterprises. With Gamtel G-Fiber, the future is speed. Gamtel, creating a brighter future in communication.
That's how she became mine and see that.
For all your pastry, bakery, and quality food, CK Restaurant is the only place to be. We do catering for birthdays, weddings, and all related services. We have all kinds of local foods, American, European, and even beyond. Come and have a taste of our local juice, ebe, and other services. At CK Restaurant, customer satisfaction is our priority.
Love like fire. Wow. Love like fire. Xam ngeen rek affaire bi xam ngeen fan la? Skincare la 2020 lañ wax de waaw fii nag mooy Kerr fan Kerr zero tache perfect skin care saa su ne rek niñ ko dee defee rek loo lañ soxlaati rek maanaam bu dee am problème ci seen skin yéen xam ngeen fan la fii ngeen di ñëw suma xarit yeeg am di jàmm yi nga xam ne taas daf lañ sonaloon xam nga doon xeesal ba la ka xum éneew ma lañ ko nag waaye just in case comme ni ko gars yi defee rek en cas just in case loolu xew xam ngeen fi ngeen di ñëw skin care plus si yu baax rek la ñoo dox nag ay baax rek fu ne la ñoo dem ci réew mi di lañ indi rek nag products yu baax du Paris du Italie du USA du fi mu nekk nii sax boole nañ ci nag Sweden fu nekk lañ leen a indilee products bu dee tamit nag da nga ñuul rek ñu lay jamaa natural beauty that melanin dripping we do have stuff for you as well emuñ si skin care products rek ñu ngi ci cuub yi tamit fu ne la ñoo jaar in fact sax last commercial bi ñu defoon waxuñ leen woon ne dañoo dox ci ay kawar 9A grade rek nag waaw we do have bundles as well hair si lu ne la ñoo dox ñun ñu ngi ci rafetal jigéen rek luy taaral jigéen rek waaw boo leen di tukki tamit bëggoon rek classic suitcase ñu dañoo dox ci ay Samsonite duñ dee indi any brand of suitcases though other than Samsonite comme li ma dee wax rek boo eggee airport dëri Samsonite dafa am nuñ laa xoolee waaw ngeen ne lan nag waaw skin ci moom la ñu gën a xamee nag skin care products ci moom la ñu gën a xamee ñu ngi dox tamit bentee tamit si ay dàlla man waaye man nag skin care mooy suma specialty xam nga rek jigéen bu sa xar kanam réglé loo def mu jag am nañ Patricia Reiner